Okay, here we go. All right, the show is ready. It is so ready. What's going on, everybody? It's your host, Garza. They call me Michael Garza. Don't know why. I wish I knew why. Maybe it's because I'm too straight. I don't know. We're going to watch a little JD Vance reacting to the it's a live White House press briefing with JD Vance. Our hero, dude. We think Vance is hot, dude. In celebration of Pride Month, by the way, we're going to I'm going to get kind of sweaty watching JD Vance. Yep. Let's take a look. I will say that JD Vance has been making the rounds. Oh, here we go. This was streamed about 4 hours ago. Let's take a listen. JD, baby. Oh, where's his intro music, man? I need my boy's intro music, dude. America. I love JD Vance, dude. JD Vance. We got Annie in the house. What up, Annie? Woo. Doing pretty good. How you doing? I'm feeling all right, man. I feel super accomplished. I feel ready to roll. I feel pumped. I feel pumped up. Like a bathmate, yo, pumped up. Like a bathmate, ho. Hold on, there's something I realized I needed to do. Give me 1 second. I needed to get a picture of the bathmate. Hold on. This will take a few moments. I'm making a AI image and sending it to a few friends. It's pretty gee. Give me a moment, you guys. Trying to find a photo of myself. Okay. Here we go. Cole Olds, what up, dude? I love you guys. You guys are my brony bros, dude.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Nothing to talk about. Slow news day here in Washington, D.C. So let me just say a couple of things off the bat. First of all, I think the president's peace plan in Iran is already bearing real fruits for the American people. Last night, 12.5 million barrels of oil went through the Strait of Hormuz. That is a high since the beginning of the conflict. Oil prices are down nearly at their level from the pre-war conflict. Gas prices dropped below $4 a gallon today for the first time since the conflict.
Hell yeah,
and importantly,
dude.
They're going to keep falling further given how low
Gas is down, dude.
low oil prices are. On the military side,
I told you guys things would get better. Things would get better. But nobody believed me, man. Nobody believed me.
the Iranians, for the second night in a row, did not shoot at any ships in the Strait of Hormuz. So far, they are honoring their end of the commitment. And on the blockade, CENTCOM has allowed...
Dude, Obama's old deal was trash, dude. What are you talking about, bro? Obama's old deal was crap, dude. You know it. That's why Trump tore it up, dude. It was shit. It was a bill that enabled. Hello. It was a bill that enabled crap.
North of a dozen ships to go through our naval blockade, and so we're also honoring our end of the early part of the agreement. On the military side, a couple of things that are still true and will be true whether the Iranians comply with the rest of the deal or not. Number one, their nuclear program has been completely destroyed. Their capacity for enrichment, the facilities at which they were using to develop enrichment and develop a potential nuclear weapon, those facilities are still destroyed. Their conventional military is still destroyed. Their capacity to threaten their neighbors is still largely gone. And now we see whether they are willing to comply with the next step of the president's peace plan. As you all know, the part of the peace plan, the part of this MOU that I think have been most misrepresented by certain parts of the media is the idea that the Iranians get all these benefits. You will hear things about $300 billion or $24 billion or this or that number of money or amount of money. And the simple fact is that the only way the Iranians get any of those resources, not a single penny, by the way, from the United States of America under any circumstances, but the only way that they would ever get any benefit of the bargain is if they comply fully and change their behavior. And so you really have a win-win situation for the United States of America. If the Iranians don't change their behavior, their military and their nuclear program is still destroyed. If they do change their behavior, then they are going to have a transformative relationship with the Middle East, and the Middle East will have a transformative relationship with the people of Iran. That's a win for the American people and for the President of the United States, regardless of which option the Iranians ultimately choose. We obviously want them to choose the right option. The interesting thing about their system, and I think it's important for the American people to appreciate this point in particular, is that there are real divisions within their country about how exactly to proceed. And what we've seen over the last couple of months is that the pragmatists within the Iranian system, the people who really do want to transform their relationship with the Middle East and with the world, those people are winning the argument. The United States.
Okay. Fair. Brings up a fair point. Let's keep going, man.
The United States wants those people to win the argument. The United States wants to have a better relationship, but in order for that to happen, the Iranians have to perform. And if they don't perform, as we've said before, they don't get any of the benefits of the bargain. So what I'd ask...
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. Do they want the benefits or not? Like, what do they want? Like, what do they want, man? Oh, God.
Ask all of you is just to report honestly that the United States isn't giving up a cent of money to Iran, and even the economic benefits, the sanctions relief and so forth that comes along with this bargain only happens if the Iranians perform. So with that, I want to say thanks to all of you. It's good to be with you this morning, and I'll kick it over to questions. Let's start right over here to the right.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I wanted to ask a follow-up on something you just mentioned. You talked about the possibility of the current Iranian leadership fundamentally changing their behavior. Do you think that the current Iranian leadership recognizes the leverage that the U.S. holds over itself economically and militarily enough to actually go forth with fundamentally changing their behavior over the long term and going about things differently?
So I certainly think they recognize the leverage that the United States has over them. We've seen that in a number of our conversations. We've seen that just in their behavior over the last couple of days. They certainly recognize that the United States has great leverage. Will that ultimately lead to a change in behavior? I don't know. I've seen skeptics of the deal. People say the Iranians will never change their behavior. Well,
that's the thing, man. And even if they are changing their behavior, I think I think they're doing it in a form of deception. I think the only reason they're changing their behavior is because they have to. I mean, we have legitimately forced their hand. We've legitimately forced the Iranians' hand. And I still don't trust the Iranians. Even though there's a deal signed, I don't trust them, man. They're like a wild card. I don't trust them at all, bro.
maybe that's true. And if so, they don't get any of the benefits of the bargain. But isn't it worth trying? Isn't it worth seeing whether this incredibly weakened position...
I mean, look, negotiation's always worth a try. I guess the problem is I have trouble believing Iran. I just don't believe them. I don't believe anything that they're telling me. I think they're lying through their teeth. And you just can't trust it. You just can't trust it, bro. My pink brony bros. Do we dance at the gay clubs? Oh my God. I'm just having fun on the stage in my hoops. I'm wearing my man thong.
that the President of the United States has put the Iranians under, whether that motivates them to change their behavior, not just vis-a-vis the West, but vis-a-vis the Middle East. And one of the interesting things about this is, the technical details of this we can, of course, get into. There are going to be any number of opinions about the negotiation, about where it's ultimately going to go. But I tend to think that you should trust the people who know the Iranians the best and who have the most to lose. What are the Gulf Arab states saying about this deal? What are they saying about this deal compared to the JCPOA in 2015? This is the Obama nuclear deal. Well, back then, they hated that deal. They felt like it empowered the Iranians to be bad actors across the region. And
yeah, it did. It absolutely did. That deal basically strong-armed us. And then Trump was like, dude, this deal sucks ass, dude. We're tearing this thing apart. We're gonna construct a brand new deal, one that's even far more superior to the bullcrap Obama deal. And I think the only reason liberals are defending the Obama deal is because they still are Obama you-know-what riders. And everybody's so sprung for Obama, even though he wasn't that great of a president. I would say he was mediocre. Everybody acts like he was the greatest president of all time, but the truth is, you know why the liberals think that he's the greatest president of all time is because they kiss you-know-what ass all the time.
Of course, that's exactly what happened. They were right about that. What are they saying about the president's peace deal? They're saying this is an amazingly transformative thing for the region because either way, we and the broader region win. Iran is weakened, their nuclear program destroyed, their economy in desperate straits, and if they change their behavior, big things are going to happen for Iran and for the world. If they don't, no skin off our backs. Either way, we win, and that's the way the president has set up.
Yeah, as long as America's winning in this scenario, that's all that really matters to me, man. That's the whole point. That's the whole goal. As long as America wins, that's all that matters.
This deal and this negotiation.
Thank you, Mr. Vice
Yep.
President. Just A quick housekeeping question, which I think you answered in your cover, but did the 60-day period officially begin yesterday?
I would say the 60-day period officially started today. It was signed late, and it may have even been signed technically, because of the time shift. I think it signed technically today, Iran time. So yes, the deal started yesterday.
As long as the deal, here's the thing about the deal. As long as the deal restricts Iran's government overall and restricts Iran's military, that's the most important thing. Restrict their military, restrict their government, restrict their ability to do nuclear weapons development, make sure they don't have access to uranium. That's important. So I love it, man. I love what's happening here. I love it, bro.
We're going to start the 60-day clock today. Go ahead.
Can you help us understand President Trump's shift on his stance for Iran's ballistic missile program? Initially, it was a key objective to dismantle it. Yesterday, he said it would only be fair if they had some, if the countries around Iran also had some. So when and why did that change? And will the final agreement have any restrictions on these missiles?
So we destroyed a substantial number of their ballistic missiles and their ballistic missile launchers themselves. It's not just the bullets, but it's the actual gun. And that's what we were extremely effective at in destroying during the last 3 months of the campaign. All the president said yesterday is that, of course, countries don't give up the right of self-defense. Israel doesn't give up the right of self-defense if Hezbollah fires rockets or drones at Israel. The Iranians don't give up the right of self-defense in their country, but we do expect that as part of the final deal, they are not going to be able to build the kind of missiles that can broadly threaten the entire world. And that's what the President of the United States said yesterday. And look, I mean, it's very simple. You can't tell a country, whether Israel or Iran, they're not allowed to have any self-defense. That's not what the president has asked. That's not what the president has requested. But as part of the final deal, what we want to see is Iran not funding regional instability, funding regional terrorism, and of course trying to rebuild their nuclear weapons program. That's the main thing. The nuclear weapons program is destroyed. It is gone. If the Iranians decided tomorrow to build a nuclear weapon, they simply don't have the capacity in order to do that. What we're trying to ensure is they don't rebuild that capacity, not just a year from now, 2 years from now, but many, many years from now, so that our children never have to worry about a state sponsor of terrorism having a nuclear weapon.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. You were just saying that you're hoping this deal would prevent Iran in the future from getting a nuclear weapon. But from what's been put out there of the MOU, I'm curious, how does the MOU reflect that in the future Iran will not, in fact, get a nuclear weapon? What's stopping them from down the road, to your point, rebuilding and restarting from where we were pre the war?
Well, number one, they would have to get a lot of money in order to rebuild their nuclear program. You're talking about billions and billions of nuclear infrastructure that the United States destroyed. In order for them to rebuild that program, they would have to get a lot of money. And we have them...
And it would be pretty tough for them to rebuild, to be honest. If you think about it, it would be pretty tough for them to rebuild all like the missile silos that have been destroyed. I mean, like, dude, Iran's military is decimated beyond repair. I don't know how they're going to be able to recover. I don't know how Iran will ever be able to recover from this. Like, it's just like the Tiger King said, it's like, I'm not going to financially recover from this, dude. It's crazy.
In an economic chokehold right now that we're not going to release until they fundamentally change their behavior. What would that look like? That would mean a real inspections regime. That would mean a real enforcement regime. As the MOU contemplates, that would mean the destruction of their enriched stockpile. All of these things are the sorts of steps you're going to take if you're serious about ending your nuclear weapons program. And that, again, is why I go back to this fundamental trade that's built into the deal. They need money to do anything. Their economy is in absolute dire straits. But in order for them to get any integration into the world economy, they're going to have to show us and verify for us that they are changing their behavior. And that's why the deal is set up in the way that it is. Go ahead.
President Trump said yesterday that he was going to blame you if the talks with Iran go sideways. Are you worried that he's going to make you the fall guy?
No, not at all. I mean, I think the president was joking. But as...
Yeah, and that's the problem with the media, is the media cannot tell when, because the media doesn't have a sense of humor. Mainstream media is fucking lame as shit. And Donald Trump has a sense of humor, but the mainstream media takes everything he says quite literally, even though it's pretty fucking obvious he's joking. But that's the media for you. The media is a bunch of they just don't like Donald Trump, so they just choose to take everything he says as if he's saying a truth of a truth. I don't know. Anyway, one of the reasons I hate the Democrat Party so much is because of the mainstream media. Mainstream media actually turned me against the Democrat Party because the mainstream media is just a bunch of pussies. And they're so fucking annoying. I don't respect the mainstream media. And so, yeah.
As he often does. But no, I think, look, the entire team has worked very well on this, and we've got this thing to a very good place for the American people. Now, I have seen some progressive criticism.
Greg says Trump will go down as one of the great. Yeah, but I think he will go down as the GOAT, dude. The GOAT. I can agree with that. He's actually a good president. Like the only reason people don't like him is because he says things that offend people. Who the fuck cares? If you get offended by things, honestly, you're probably an annoying person. If you get offended by a ton of shit, you're an annoying person, and I don't want to deal with you. Because you're too much of an intellectual pussy to understand that people have different thoughts than you do. And for you to get offended and clutch your pearls because somebody thinks differently than you blows my mind. And to live like that is a state of misery that I don't ever want to try to understand.
Of me personally saying, what experience does the Vice President of the United States have with hostile, high-stakes negotiations? And I would point those progressive critics to the fact that just 2 days ago, I spent over an hour on The View. So I actually have great experience in very hostile negotiations, and I've used that. I mean, look, Joy Behar is way tougher than the Iranians, and she and I are best friends now. So we're going to get to a good place here. We're going to get to a good place. We're already at a good place. It's just a question of whether we can really get the icing on the top of fundamentally transforming Iran's relationship with the world. Go ahead.
Thank you.
JD Vance is a good man, dude. He is such a smooth talker, dude. He's so good at talking. Like, he's one of the best, dude. JD Vance is the GOAT, in my opinion. Like, as far as guys that can publicly speak, he's my favorite. He is, like, legitimately one of my favorite dudes.
Small Wiener Gang.
When it comes to public speakers. Hey, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. I can't read what your name is, but something Ellie Dahan. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ellie Dahan. I appreciate you. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put your name back up on the board because I want to say thank you for subscribing.
Small Wiener Gang.
Hey, thanks for subscribing to the channel. Mucho apreciado. Thank you so much, man. Let's keep going.
Just timing questions. How soon, as the MOU lays out, can Iran start selling any of its oil that has sort of been impounded, right, with the blockade? And two, can you sort of explain the Lebanon component to the MOU and how that front works and the enforceability of it?
Yeah, so the Lebanon component, this is about regional peace, right?
Hey, Lou the chicken dude. What up, dude? Oh, Lou's hooking me up with some gifts.
Laugh out loud.
Hey, Lou the chicken dude. Thank you for coming on, man. Hey, any gifts you send, man, I appreciate it, man. Any gifts. We appreciate all gifts. If you want to send a happy poop, send a happy poop. Send a 100. Send a thumbs up. We appreciate everything, man. Let's rock and roll, bro. So you guys, don't forget to tap the gift button in the lower right-hand corner. So when you tap the gift button, it gives you a variety of options of different gifts to select. So feel free to select the gift that you want to send. You get recognized instantly. I make sure that your name floats up in the center of the screen, essentially. So you do get recognized when you send gifts. So don't forget to send a gift, man. Tap the gift button, send a gift. It really helps the channel grow in more ways than one.
This is about regional peace. And what that means is we expect Hezbollah is not going to be firing rockets and firing drones at the Israelis. And we also expect that the Israelis are not going to be going wild in Lebanon, right? Both sides have to honor their end of the deal. Now, as you guys know, sometimes these ceasefires are a little messy. The President of the United States said this a couple of weeks ago, that a ceasefire in that region of the world just means they're shooting a little bit less at each other than they were before. What you've seen is radical progress in Lebanon. Less shooting, less firing, but you're still going to have these little flare-ups from time to time, and that's just the sort of thing that we're going to have to manage through the diplomatic process. Secretary Rubio's been sort of the person on point. it's actually worked out extraordinarily well because we do have substantially less shooting, but it's going to be something we have to manage. And eventually what we want to see is the Lebanese government, the elected representatives of the people of Lebanon, who are able to police southern Lebanon so that Hezbollah has not taken over the country, the Israelis are not threatened, and then consequently the Israelis are not attacking southern Lebanon or Beirut either. That's the plan there. You asked about the Iranian oil. Look, one of the interesting things that you've seen is that the Iranians have been completely unable to sell oil, not because of sanctions, but because of the blockade. Fundamentally, the thing that we have done here, the original, what we give, what they give, is that we said we're going to lift the blockade, we're going to allow you to sell some of your oil, and they're going to open the Strait of Hormuz. We see that process starting to work already. It's going to take a little time before it picks up fully, but that's where we are today. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. The MOU, just on the Strait, the MOU guarantees these 60 days of toll-free passage, but after that it has, of course, led to a regional dialogue with Oman and Iran deciding the future governance of the Strait. A senior U.S. official told us yesterday that they expect Iran to push aggressively on this, but also that Gulf states won't allow any kind of tolls. How strenuously will the U.S. fight to keep tolls out of the Strait and keep any fees away from the future Strait commercial traffic? And are you going to leave it to the Gulf states to kind of fight this battle?
Well, first of all, we believe international.
Well, I'm not entirely sure how JD's going to answer this question, but I am curious to see what the result is, because I don't even know what the answer would be. It's kind of maybe not a loaded question per se.
Waterways should be free of tolls, and that's been our position. That's what you see, of course, in the 60 days of the MOU. And when you say it leaves it open, it doesn't really leave it open, except in the sense that, of course, the final negotiation is going to set the terms of what comes afterwards, right? You said, I think that it's the Omanis and the Iranians, but it's actually the MOU contemplates that the Omanis, the Iranians, and the Gulf Coast Coalition together will figure out a proper security framework for the Straits in the future. And what I mean by that is that we don't ever want this to happen again. Right? That's not about tolling. That's about ensuring that the Straits are never used.
Yeah, here's the thing. Iran was able to use the Strait of Hormuz as kind of a lever during the war in Iran. They were able to block it off. They even tried to charge a toll, charge a fee. It didn't turn out so well for them, but they tried. They failed. Thank goodness they did. But yeah, no, I mean, how do you prevent Iran from using the Strait of Hormuz as leverage, or I should say I guess as a negotiation tactic during a war? How do you prevent that? I mean, how do you prevent them from doing that? Either way, JD Vance is the man. I love what JD Vance has been able to accomplish along with Donald Trump. I mean, they're a hell of a team, man. They're a hell of a team. They're doing good, man. They're doing good. They're kicking butt, dude. JD.
As a choke point for the global economy ever again. It's frankly not what the Iranians want. It's not what the Omanis want. It's not what the GCC wants either. So what we're going to do, of course, working with our allies in the region, is to ensure that that is reflected in the final deal. And if that's not reflected in the final deal, there's not going to be a final deal. And that is, I keep coming back to this fundamental structural point of this negotiation, which is that we have all the cards. If the Iranians want the benefits of the bargain, they have to give us the things that are necessary to get those benefits. Go ahead.
Yes. JD's on fire, dude. He's on point, dude. He's on fleek. My man is on fleek.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President.
We'll do both. Okay. Both you guys. There's one in the white and then one in, orange, I think.
What about the pink?
I'm sorry? Okay. Maybe I'm colorblind. It looks more orange to me. I don't want to have a debate about that. Orange, pinkish. You go first, and then in front of you can go second.
President, thank you, Mr. Vice President. How does the points about granting some immediate waivers on sanctions, especially from the Treasury Department, how does that square with the Iran Nuclear Agreement Review Act? And are you planning on briefing Congress on this portion?
Yeah, so I talked to James Braid, our head of OLA. We do plan to brief Congress very soon. I believe that they got the formal copy of the signed document this morning, and if not, they're going to get it at some point later today. We are planning a briefing. I believe right now the House is out of session, the Senate is in session, though maybe I've reversed that. But we're going to ensure that the team briefs Congress and, of course, answers their questions. We've been doing that informally, of course, talking to a number of people in Congress just over the last week. We'll keep on doing that, and we'll have a formal briefing. I won't say exactly.
Whoa. Trump's the man, dude. Why do I need to get off my knees? Why? It's Pride Month, dude. It's Pride Month, and I'm proud. I am proud of my love for Donald Trump. My love of Donald Trump, I'm proud of it, dude. My love of Donald Trump. It's Pride Month, okay? And I'm proud. I'm loud and I'm proud about my love for Donald Trump. And I can't help myself. If you guys can, tap the gift button in the lower right-hand corner. It is Pride Month, so the more happy Pride gifts we get, the better. It makes me feel really good about myself. Once again, send happy Pride gifts if you can. Tap the gift button, send a happy Pride, because I am very proud of my love for Donald Trump, and that is my pride. That's my happy Pride. That's my pride. Just kidding. You guys take me way too seriously on this fucking channel, dude. You guys know I'm trolling. I'm trolling hard, man. Psych, actually, Trump is the man, though.
Exactly when that will be, because it depends a little bit about session schedule. Your point about the sanctions is I'll go back to what I said earlier, which is really the choke point on Iranian oil was never the sanctions. We didn't see that as a major concession to the Iranians. Frankly, the Iranians didn't see that as a concession to them, because what prevented them from selling oil was not the sanctions. They were selling plenty of oil without any discount, because the sanctions were just fundamentally ineffective at that point.
Yeah.
What the sanctions did do is move the Iranian financial system to sort of the shadow banking system. So by lifting the blockade, that's the significant thing that has changed. And by lifting the sanctions, we're actually going to be able to see a little bit where their financial system actually sends money and receives money.
Good.
That's a real benefit to the American people.
And that is perfect. That allows for transparency, so that way we know if Iran's doing any shady shit. Because if we could track what Iran's doing, man, what they're spending money on, we can investigate. Perfect. Sounds good to me, man.
And that's really the only thing that has changed by the change in sanctions.
Does that require Congress from
Sorry, I forgot that part of the question. No, we don't think so. We actually have an opinion from OLC we feel quite confident about, that, Congress does, there are certain things that require congressional approval. There are certain things that don't require congressional approval. We feel quite confident that we can temporarily lift those sanctions without going to Congress and seeking their approval on that.
Apparently, there's been reports coming out of Israel that Iran is already funneling oil money to Hezbollah even before this particular MOU was signed. And how exactly is the U.S. looking at this? If we're talking about behavior on part of Iran, October 7th happened. And if there's concern that perhaps Hezbollah could end up doing some sort of attack on that scale, then, how exactly are we talking about the reaction from the United States? If we're talking about perhaps a humongous scale attack that actually could happen, are we waiting for that type of attack? I mean, what exactly is a scale here?
Sorry, you said what exactly is a scale?
Well, I mean, what type of attack would it take to actually get a reaction from the United States to say, okay, now we're actually going to start dropping bombs on Iran for having bad behavior?
Well, we don't want a scale of any attack. Any attack, whatever its scale, is unacceptable under this agreement. Now, you asked the...
Yeah, basically Iran cannot attack us. They cannot fund anybody to attack us. Iran needs to stay the frick away, essentially. Iran has no power in this agreement. Thank goodness. From what I could tell. from my analysis of the agreement, Iran has no real power here, thank goodness. And even if they break the agreement in any way, shape, or form, I mean, it's going to rain holy hell on them.
Question saying that oil money was flowing to Hezbollah before the MOU was signed, and it's one of the reasons why we are actually engaged in this process is to ensure that no money is flowing to Hezbollah. So it's interesting where people will...
Give me one moment, though. I'm going to have a snack. I'll probably cut the stream short. I'll probably stop streaming around 4 because I need to go to... I'm going to go grocery outlet for a little bit and get some snacks.
Say that the MOU is bad because the MOU produces consequences that were actually happening well before the MOU was signed. That's not a reflection on the MOU, that's a reflection of why we need the MOU to ensure that we have the regional peace and stability that we need. Now, what I would say to some of the critics of the deal that I've heard that will say, well, Iran's going to get all this benefit. I'll repeat what I've said, and I'm probably going to have to repeat it a number of times, is what is the benefit that the Iranians get that they didn't have before? And the answer is nothing. They don't get anything unless they change their behavior. If they change their behavior, that is a thing to celebrate. That's going to transform the Middle East for a generation. If they don't change their behavior, they don't get the benefit of the bargain. And I think, I got to be honest, I think fundamentally this idea that, and it's a misrepresentation of the MOU, this idea that the Iranians get all these benefits before...
The Iranians don't get any I mean, the only benefit they really get is not being bombed anymore. That's the only benefit the Iranians get in this deal. It is far superior. It is far superior to Obama's deal, in my opinion. And you'll see all these leftoids basically tell you that the deal is worse than Obama's. No, it's not true. The deal is far superior to Obama's original deal. So, Trump's the man, dude. Trump's successful. Hey, Trump's the GOAT, dude.
The deal is actually consummated. The idea that they get benefits before they change their behavior is fundamentally a talking point.
Hey, if you guys can, though, don't forget to tap the gift button in the lower right-hand corner. Once again, do not forget to tap the gift button in the lower right-hand corner. It really does help the channel grow in a lot of ways. So if you guys want to send happy poop yum yums, if you guys want to send sparkles, whatever gifts you guys want to send, super chats are welcome. We highlight super chats. We highlight gifts. Whatever you guys want to send, we appreciate it. So tap the gift, press the gift button below and select the gift of your choice. Once again, press the gift button right here. Send whatever gift you want. We appreciate all gifts. Send as many as you want. We appreciate it. Yeah. But Trump's the man. Trump has succeeded. Trump's the greatest president of all time. So I don't care what any of the leftists say. The leftists in my chat, they could say whatever they want. I'm just going to ignore them. I'll ignore the leftists, especially when they're typing in all caps locks.
Point that is issued by people who want the conflict to continue indefinitely, despite the fact that that's not good for the American people and it's not good for the region. Way in the back.
Mr. Vice President, right here.
All the way back in the red.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vice President.
Thank you,
Karen
sir.
from
Mr.
Lindell
Vice
TV.
President.
Red here, you mean? Are you red?
We'll do, okay, sorry.
Thank you. I'm wearing bright red.
So many
today.
people are wearing red. You can go first, Kara, right?
Thank you, Kara.
Okay,
Thank
and then
you.
next after
Okay,
that.
great. Could you highlight the major differences between this deal and President Obama's deal in 2015 and why the administration believes that this deal is superior? And second,
Sure.
Mr. Vice
Well, the deal is superior because Iran is far more restricted and they don't get anything from us. Like, they don't get anything from us. Like, this is a far superior deal to anything that's ever been set up in the past. Like, this deal is GOAT level. I mean, this is some, like, high-level shit, dude. This is why I say, dude, Trump's the man. Trump found a way. Found a way to make it happen, bro. Hey, Chiguri. Hey, Chi. 8174. I have a message for you. That'll never happen. That'll never happen, bro.
President Trump has been vocal lately about his disapproval for Bibi Netanyahu's attacks on Lebanon.
Yeah, I am talking facts. Look, in my opinion, I'm talking opinion right now. In my opinion, the Trump deal is far superior to Obama's deal, okay? It is far superior. It's just better. It's just a better deal. I'm sorry. Look, we're not giving anything to Iran. We basically decimated their military. We decimated majority of their government. So they're cooked. Iran, at the end of the day, the reason they signed this deal is because they were getting their asses handed to them militarily. Iran had no other choice but to sign this deal. It's a GOAT level deal.
Has the administration spoken to Bibi Netanyahu directly about the president's concerns recently, and what is the feedback from Israel?
Yeah, so we speak to Bibi or speak to somebody in the Israeli government, just as we speak to the Gulf Coast Coalition, our regional partners, pretty much every day, at least at some high level of our government. Look, the president's been very clear. He does not withdraw from Israel. No one could withdraw from another country the right of self-defense. Israel has the right to defend itself. But fundamentally, the Israelis, just like everybody else, have to respect this peace process that is fundamentally good for them and good for the entire region.
Hey, Cole Olds, how am I coping, bro? Cole Olds, there ain't no cope here. There ain't no cope, dude. This is a great deal. Like, how can you? The only reason you guys don't like the deal is because it's a Trump deal. If this deal, word for word, was created by Obama or Joe Biden, you guys would be glazing it. And look, Trump's the man. Trump's a good deal maker. He's a better deal maker than what people realize. Okay.
Region. What the president gets grown frustrated sometimes is that we seem to be right on the cusp of a major breakthrough in the agreement, and then all of a sudden there's a major explosion that goes off in a civilian population center in Beirut, and a lot of people who have nothing to do with Hezbollah lose their lives. That's not acceptable.
True.
That's the sort of thing that we've asked for closer coordination so that we ensure it doesn't happen. And our message to the
Yeah. JD's the man, dude.
Israelis, just as our message to everybody else, is fundamentally, we want this peace process to be good for you. We do not want Hezbollah attacking Israel, but in order to ensure that that happens, we have got to actually build the kind of regional framework that can cut off the money to Hezbollah, cut off Iranian support for Hezbollah, and also ensure that Lebanon's territorial sovereignty is respected by all parties. And the difference between the two agreements. So, first of all, the two big differences are not even in the substance of the deal itself, but something I said earlier are, number one, the Gulf Coast Coalition loves this deal because they think that it makes Iran weaker. They hated the Obama deal because they thought that it made Iran stronger. They know more about this, and they have more to lose than anybody, including the United States of America, so I trust their judgment. The second thing is where the deal came from. You have to remember, in 2015, Iran had built a sophisticated nuclear weapons program with a nuclear weapons stockpile. So the perspective that we came at as the United States was, you already have a really nice nuclear program. We're going to bribe you with American money in order to stop it.
Yep.
Our perspective and where we're coming at it is, we already destroyed your nuclear program. And so if you promise and show verifiable pathways.
You know, it's actually funny because Trump took the... See, Obama pussied out and gave him money, is what it sounds like, is what I think JD is saying. And then so because Obama just basically said, oh, here's money and here's a deal, Trump was like, oh, screw that, dude. We're just going to take out their nuclear facilities and take out most of their military, and then we'll have a deal that doesn't benefit Iran in any way. I like that. I don't want Iran to have any benefit from this. None. Coyote 3 says, sing to me, baby. Okay. I love it, bro. Dude, Trump's the man. I don't care what... You know, all these leftists coming into the chat, I'm just going to tell you this, and I'm going to say... I say it once, I'll say it again. Trump is the man. Freaking deal with it, dude. Trump's your president. Trump is your president. Just deal with it, bro. Trump daddy is your president. Deal with it.
To not rebuild it, then we're willing to give you some sanctions relief and things like that. So it's a fundamentally different perspective. Now, there are all these substantive differences as well. The Obama nuclear deal allowed enrichment. Ours will not. The Obama deal allowed the accumulation of stockpiled weapons-grade material. Ours is actually leading to the destruction of that stockpile of...
Hell yeah, dude. That's basically, dude, we're choking out Iran, dude. We are choking out Iran. That's pretty much how it's going, dude. I'm into it.
Enriched material. So there are many differences. The Obama deal gave them over $1 billion of American money. This deal gives them $0 of American money. So a lot of substantive differences, but I think the most important differences are where we're coming at it from a position of strength and the fact that our Gulf Coast partners love this deal. No, sorry.
I love the deal. I think it's hot. It's a hot deal.
I said the other, all the way in the back. Thank you.
Margaret with the Daily Wire. The president has said that if Iran doesn't behave themselves...
Let's see. Coyote 3 is... What's Coyote 3 saying? ET says, thank God you're on, Garza. Hey, ET, are you going to encourage people to send gifts? ET, encourage the chat to send gifts. I do not give financial advice. Not financial advice, only for educational and entertainment purposes only. But ET, are you going to encourage people to send gifts in the chat? You got to encourage people to send gifts to the Michael Gaza show. It's Pride Month, dude. It's Pride Month. I really hope that people can send me gifts during Pride Month. Coyote 3 says the lefties woke up this morning and put 9. It said Orange Man bad, how original. Yep. Meanwhile, the voted in the Democratic Socialist, German Socialist to me. Oh yeah, the left is extremely delusional. Thank you, ET. Hey, anybody, if you guys can try to advocate for me here, I'd like everybody in the chat to encourage other people to send gifts, send virtual gifts. So everybody in the chat, if you can, encourage others in the chat. Be like, hey, send virtual gifts to Garza or something. I don't know. Garza wants gifts, dude. Garza needs gifts. So tap the gift button in the lower right-hand corner. Tap that little gift and send Zaddy a gift. But yeah, no, E and I agree. Democrats are effing crazy. The left is insane, dude. This is one of the reasons why I'm anti-Democrat at this point. Annie says, I am not sending a pride gift, Garza. Not happening. I'll send happy poops. Hey, I'll take anything. Happy poop yum yums. Pride gifts. Oh, man. Hey, Leo said hi. What up, Leo? We got Leo in the house. What up, Brony? We got the Brony Bros, dude.
We're going to resume military action. So what is the red line for what Iran can do before they cross that red line and we do resume military action?
Well, it's going to be a holistic approach where we look at their behavior. Are they funding terrorism? Are they leading to attacks of other people? Are they trying to get centrifuges to redevelop their nuclear weapons program? There are all these questions that we're going to ask about whether they've actually changed their behavior. Do they allow the inspectors in as...
Oh, Annie just sent a happy poop yum yum. Oh my goodness, she sent 5 happy poop yum yums. Thank you so much, Annie. I appreciate it. Everybody give a shout out to Annie for sending the happy poops. We always appreciate it. Hell yeah. I love it when you guys send those gifts, man. It's hilarious. But no, overall, I think what's happening right now is in the world of politics, people are always getting really hyperbolic, you know? See, I just glaze. All I do is I glaze, you know? I give a piece of my mind on here, but that's about it. It's really about the extent of it. But I'm a glazer, man. I'm glazing. Give me a second, you guys. I'm clipping my nails. If you guys want to send gifts while I clip my nails, that'd be great. In fact, you know what? I'll let you guys see my process. You guys want to see me clip? Defanging, dude. Defanging.
as they have promised that they would do, or do they refuse to allow those inspectors in? A whole host of things we're going to see. We're working towards a very successful resolution of this process, but again, it takes two to tango. And what the president's just saying is that we maintain economic, diplomatic, and military leverage that nobody else in the world has. So if the Iranians want to change, great, we're going to help them. If they don't change, we still got all the cards. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, sorry. In the blue jacket. Yep.
Right here. This one right here, Mr. Vice President.
That's a Navy jacket. Should we have a debate about the difference between blue and Navy? Not that guy, because you give a speech whenever you ask a question. I'm going to give her an opportunity.
Sir, have you seen the Pope's reaction to this?
Hold on.
There's a lot of frustration among
Guys, you're speaking over the person.
Well, what do you guys think so far about JD Vance during this video? I think he's kind of just laying down the fact that, look, no tax dollars are going to Iran. That's good. That's a huge thing, because you don't want tax dollars going to Iran. That just shouldn't happen. It's a big deal. It just shouldn't be a thing. It just shouldn't be, you know? So no tax dollars should go to Iran. None. 0. 0, 0, 0. So that's the way I see it.
Who's asking the question?
There's been a lot of frustrations with Americans, particularly about the gas prices. You touted the fact that they're coming down. The president has gone on True Social touting this. But when should they expect to see gas reach that $3 threshold?
Well, I'm not an economist, and I think even the economists would get this wrong, but the fact that you've seen gas come down about 65 cents a gallon on the national average, and the fact that you see oil prices that are basically close to where they were at the very beginning of the conflict, I think you're going to see a substantial reduction in gas prices. I'm not going to predict the exact price. If I was able to do that, I might be in a different business than politics, but we do think you're going to see significant relief at the pump on top of what we've already seen.
Yeah, I think gas prices are going down significantly. I haven't actually checked the gas prices today. They could be down like by quite a lot. But yeah, this is wild. This is wild, you guys. Cray cray.
Vice President, you keep saying that Iran will only reap economic rewards if they comply and change their behavior, but
dude, $300 billion. Where do you guys get this information? How is Iran getting $300 billion from us? How is $300 billion going to Iran? Can you please explain that to me? Nowhere in this bill does any tax dollars go to Iran. None. It's just leftists are just so desperate to make Trump look bad, they'll make up bullshit about this.
under this deal, they are being allowed now to sell their oil freely. Again, how is that not a financial benefit? And they're being allowed to do that without making any new concrete nuclear commitments. So can you explain how is that not lopsided?
Well, first of all, they've made very concrete nuclear commitments. They have committed to the destruction of the highly enriched stockpile that they have in their possession. But number two, all we've done is lift the blockade in the Straits of Hormuz. We basically returned it to where it was before the conflict. The blockade is off. We put that in after the conflict started. The straits are now open. That's not a new benefit to the Iranians. They were selling oil for many, many years, well before we ever put the blockade. We opposed that blockade. They stopped selling oil, and now we've lifted the blockade in order to promote the free flow of energy across the world. Go ahead.
A U.S. official described having...
Dude, JD's such a hunk, dude. Look at that. Hey, happy Pride Month, everybody. If you think that JD Vance is... Oh, yeah. Oh. If you guys think that JD Vance is the man and a total hunk, hopefully you guys subscribe to the channel.
Secured some of these quote-unquote gentlemen's agreements with Iran on certain aspects of the negotiation. So when it comes to highly enriched uranium, can you walk us through what's been secured even in these kind of gentlemen's agreements on how exactly they're going to get rid of the stockpile? Are there agreements on low-grade enrichment? How long is the moratorium on enriching uranium for Iran? And are any of these gentlemen's agreements written down anywhere?
So some of them are written down, but fundamentally, whether they're written down or spoken, this is why we structured the deal that we did, because we don't trust words. We trust action, and we trust conduct. And so we're going to reward conduct, and we're not going to reward any words, whether they're written on a sheet of paper or not. There's a lot of discussion, the MOU, the gentleman's agreements, the final deal. Words don't matter, ladies and gentlemen. We're about verification. And so what
Yep.
we're going to do is to
Hell
say,
yeah.
if they do the things that they have promised to do, they have promised not to enrich. They have promised that they would allow inspectors in to destroy that highly enriched stockpile. And then, of course, it's not usable anymore. You take it somewhere else. They promised a number of things, and that's why the deal contemplates a number of benefits if they do those things. But it doesn't do anything if they don't actually meet those promises. Go ahead.
Follow up on that, sir.
Go ahead.
If they don't follow through with their commitment, will the U.S. go back to imposing sanctions and the blockade, or does Iran get to keep some of the concessions that it has already secured?
Well, first of all, the sanctions are still on with the exception of the oil sanctions, which I talked about were no longer effective. The purpose of the oil sanctions is to drive down how much Iran is charging for a price for a barrel of oil. Those sanctions had stopped being effective. The blockade is what's effective. And again, that's the thing that has changed in accordance with them opening the Strait of Hormuz. No sanctions will come off unless they perform the benefit of the bargain, and every sanction will come back on. Like hypothetically. Let's say 2 years down the road, they've done what we need to see on the nuclear program and we release the sanctions as the deal contemplates. Then they decide they're going to start rebuilding the nuclear program. Then, of course, those sanctions are going to come back on. And that's why it's really kind of like a dial. As they dial up their good behavior, we can dial up the economic relief. If they dial down their good behavior, we can turn it off. It's the good thing about having the leverage, and it's a good thing about being the United States of America, where we just fundamentally have so much influence in the world financial system. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Leader Thune said it's unrealistic to get the Save America Act passed by attaching it to FISA, which is what the president's looking for. Do you believe this is possible?
Well, why don't we try? Why don't we try and at least force people to vote against it? One of the things that sometimes frustrates me about the legislative process is that people will go into it saying, this isn't possible, therefore we're not even going to try. Well, let's actually see. Let's try it. And if it's not possible, then let the people put their name on it. This is also good for the American people. How many American senators know that the American people love the Save America Act because they believe in voter ID? But how many of those same senators don't want to vote for it because they know that the radical elements within their own party would punish them for it? Let people go on the record and actually answer to the American people, which is why I think we should do exactly as the president said. Rob.
Yeah. Dude, JD Vance is cooking, dude. Vance is cooking, bro. My man's cooking. He's kicking butt, dude.
Rob.
Thank you very much. On Monday, we were told the MOU will be published within 48 hours. The president then said after Friday. You, I think, then said by Friday, and then it ended up being read out on a briefing call yesterday. We were told the MOU had been signed electronically on Sunday. There was an Axios report that it hadn't been. There's going to be a signing ceremony on Friday, and then it's signed at Versailles.
I do feel like there's been a lot of mixed messages, I will admit, about when the official signing is. Like, is this? Or I mean, it sounds like the deal's already in motion. I think like final signatures need to be written down on it or something. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. It's all been kind of confusing to me, at least, and we'll see how it all goes.
Last night. Is what's going on behind the scenes as chaotic as your public messaging?
Well, I don't think our public messaging has been chaotic. I think dealing with a fractured Iranian system where communication isn't great is just sometimes something that we don't fully appreciate or we don't fully understand. What really happened here is that we did sign the MOU on Sunday. That locked into the terms of the deal. What the Iranians came to us and said is, we'd like not to release the text until Friday. I don't really understand that. I wanted to get the text out immediately. But in order to be accommodating to them, we said, sure, okay, we'll wait until Friday. And then what happened over Monday, Tuesday, the president was in G7. Maybe foreign leaders were talking to the Iranians and encouraging them to do that. We were definitely saying to them, we understand your desire not to have the text out until Friday, but we live in a democratic system. The American people want to see the text of this deal. We would certainly like to get it out as soon as possible. And so they came up with having their president sign it, our president sign it, and then just releasing the text as a signed document immediately at that point.
Yeah.
I do wonder, Rob, this is pure conjecture. I'm just guessing at this. I wonder if part of it is that they wanted to have a Persian translation, a Farsi translation that they felt good about. And then, of course, once they translate it into Farsi, our State Department has to confirm that the Farsi translation matches the meaning of the English. I think that is part of what was going on here. But the text is out there now. We said that we would be transparent about it. But the reason why it went back and forth a little bit about when exactly the text would be released is just we were trying to show good faith to the Iranians who, for reasons I have no idea, cared a lot about how the text itself was rolled out. Blue tie there.
Yeah, I don't know. I think at this point the Iranians cannot be beggars in this case, can't be choosers. So the Iranians should just deal with how. By the way, take the bill the way it is. Take the bill the way it comes, dude. However this bill is, just freaking take it because you got no other choice. This deal. Look, Iran, you know I'm right. You know I'm right. Iran knows I'm right. At least I think they do. Do they? Maybe. But yeah, no, Iran has been the beggars in this. They've been begging. I think Iran's been begging for a deal. I really do. I firmly believe that. Iran lost. Chaz, what are you smoking, Chaz? Iran lost. Iran lost the moment they started enriching uranium. They're not allowed. They're just not allowed.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Vice President. As you know, because you were involved in this process, the MOU allows for Iran to sell its oil right away, which means that Iran can take in on a monthly basis tens of millions of dollars. Iran's economy was in tatters. How is this not essentially giving a lifeline to Iran economically? And what's to prevent Iran from using all of that money, all of those millions of dollars, to prop up its proxies in the region?
Well, the number one thing is that we actually see where the money moves now because of what we've done with the financial sanctions. We actually know where the money is going to move. And so we have great confidence that we're going to be able to see if they try to fund terrorist organizations, we're going to be able to see that. But you said that millions of dollars is a lifeline. Right now, the Iranian nation is a nation of 94 million people. Their economy is in a free fall. They have sky-high inflation, and fundamentally, about $1 trillion of damage to their industrial base was caused over the last 3 months. The idea that selling a few $1 million worth of or a few $1 million worth of oil is going to fundamentally transform the Iranian economy, that's just not true. We thought that it would be good in order to lift the blockade and open the Straits of Hormuz to allow the free flow of energy. We felt that it was reasonable that if we're going to allow everybody else to sell their energy during this period of negotiation, we would allow everyone to sell their energy. That's all we're doing. We can slap everything right back on if the Iranians don't make the deal that we expect.
Me?
Either one. Yeah. Guys, how about both of you? Go ahead.
Mr. Vice President, so President Trump said we'll finish one, talking about Iran, and he said then Cuba is next. Is Cuba next? And also on Colombia, Mr. Vice President, he has mentioned Colombia 3 times this week. Why is it so important, the election day in Colombia for President Trump?
You guys have to ask Marco about Cuba. That's not... Look,
give me some Marco.
Our view, go ahead in a second, but let me just actually answer this guy's question. Fundamentally, in Cuba, it is a system that hasn't worked.
Dude, you guys, he said that no taxpayer money is going to Iran. So how the hell are we giving them? How the hell are we giving them $300 billion? Tell me. To all the moronic liberals out there on my chat, tell me, how are we giving them $300 billion? If we are unfreezing the Iranian assets, that we're not giving them anything. We're giving them something they already had. We had it frozen for the time. CRXR, I just have a feeling you're lying. I just have a feeling you're lying through your teeth. If liberals were not so disingenuous, I would probably believe some of you guys in the chat, but I've learned that liberals are like Romulans. You can't trust them. They're like the Borg. You can't negotiate with them. I mean, dude, seriously, liberals are like the Borg. They have such a collectivized consciousness about everything they do because they believe in stupid things like collectivism. You can't negotiate with a collective conscious. Yeah, I would compare the Democrats to the Borg. I would absolutely compare the Democrats to the Borg. I think it's a healthy comparison.
They can't make any money. Their economy is frankly probably in worse shape than the Iranian economy. It's 90 miles from our shore, so every time that there's a crisis, you end up having desperate refugees or desperate...
Oh, that's another thing. Threshold Moment says Democrats are like the Klingons. In a sense, yes, because on a Klingon ship, it's a lot like a pirate ship, right? If a leader is weak, they kill the leader and then they take over. So Democrat Party is very much like a pirate ship. We all saw what happened to Biden. We all saw how Kamala Harris tried to basically dethrone Biden and basically dethrone the world through white guilt. Good job, Kamala, by the way. That was, you didn't win, but good job on dethroning Captain Biden. But yeah, dude, Democrats are like the Borg, they're like the Romulans, and they're like the Klingons. They're like, the Democrats have all the worst traits of the Borg, they have the worst traits of the Klingons, and they have the worst traits of the Romulans, in my opinion. I think you guys know that I'm right, though. I think you guys know I'm right.
People who can't feed their families trying to flood into our country. We want the people of Cuba to be happy and successful. We're actually talking to the Cuban government right now about how they could change their ways to change that. We're going to see what they do, and obviously, if they do one thing, we're going to do something. If they make smart decisions, we're going to have a much better relationship with that island. Go ahead.
Mr. Vice President. Mr. Vice President, thank you so much. I know that you are still not sure if you are going to run for president in 2028, but if you do not, is there anyone in particular that you would want to see run?
Well, that's the problem with Democrats, is they suffer from, chronic white guilt. They feel guilty about being white. And so they basically just experience suicidal empathy, and that's okay. I'm no doctor, so talk to a doctor. If you think that you have chronic white guilt, please talk to your doctor. See, I'm part Mexican, so that's probably why. Here's the thing. I have a theory on why I don't suffer from white guilt, and I think it's because I'm actually part Mexican. Because I am 25% Mexican. My grandfather is a full-blooded Mexican. Right? He's Mexican. So I think the reason I don't suffer from white guilt is the Mexican side of me prevents me from feeling guilty about my skin color. So, because I understand that we're born the way that we're born, and I'm not going to judge you by your immutable qualities. Well, is it immutable? I can't remember what that term is, but the stuff that you can't change, basically. But yeah, so I don't suffer from the same level of white guilt because even though I'm white, I'm also part Mexican. So it's kind of a weird thing. So I think genetically speaking, I don't suffer from the white guilt that all these pearl-clutching Karens have, if that makes sense. Does that make sense to you guys? I hope I'm educating you all properly. Essentially, I'm Mexican and I'm white. I feel guilty about neither. I can't control my DNA. I can't control how I was born. You just play the hand that you're dealt to the best of your ability and roll with it.
What's your name?
Stephen Kapuska, sir.
I want Stephen Kapuska to run for president in 2028. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Vice
Yeah.
President Vance. I've got two questions. Could you describe the status of your Switzerland trip? Are
Sure.
you definitely still going? What are your plans? And also, if we could drill down on frozen funds, there's been a lot of focus on oil sanctions, but on frozen funds, what's your understanding of how much money is frozen? How much of that is in the U.S.? And a senior administration official briefed some of us reporters earlier this week that there might be small antes, is what he said, like small releases of money to build trust with the Iranians early on. Could you describe that whole situation?
So on the frozen funds, the amount of money, I honestly don't know. I've heard numbers north of $100 billion. I've actually heard numbers north of $200 billion. Most of it is not in United States accounts. Most of it's either in the Gulf or in Europe or somewhere else. But I don't know the exact amount of money. It's a lot. It's one of the reasons why we've had such a successful chokehold on the Iranian economy, though by not even close to the main reason. We're not releasing a single dollar of that money until the Iranians perform. And there are a number of ways they could perform. For example, let's say they actually take meaningful steps, and this could happen very quickly, to destroy that stockpile of enriched material, then we're going to have a conversation about it. But they have to perform. I've seen some reports, I don't know where this came from, that the Qataris had released billions of dollars in Iranian assets. That's just not true. It would be impossible for the Qataris to do that without our buy-in, and certainly without us seeing it. So a lot of this reporting is just fundamentally wrong. They don't get a dollar of unfrozen assets, their money, not our money, but they don't get a dollar of unfrozen assets until they actually perform under the deal. You asked about Switzerland.
Okay, that was kind of my curiosity about the unfrozen assets. So that's cool. So there are conditions like, yeah, we're going to unfreeze your assets, but you're still not going to be able to access any of the money until you do A, B, C, D, and E. So there are criteria for them to get the money. Okay, that makes some sense. I see where JD's coming from. I like it.
Our plan is to go to Switzerland. I don't know exactly when. The way that we're setting up this technical negotiation.
Oh, if you guys can, don't forget to tap the gift button in the lower right-hand corner. Once again, tap the gift button and send a gift if possible. The benefits of sending a gift is 1, it supports the channel. 2, your name will show up right here. And 3, I don't know, it's fun to get social recognition, and you get to interrupt the stream at any time. So whenever you send a gift, it interrupts the stream, and it makes it more difficult for me to watch a video. So that's the fun part, is you guys get to interrupt the stream, and your name gets to show up. You get basically immortalized. I wouldn't say immortalized, but your name shows up on the center of the screen when you send a gift. So don't forget to send a gift. Tap the gift button in the lower right-hand corner. Really does help. So send a gift. It does the show wonders. I appreciate you guys.
Is that obviously you're going to have the political leadership involved. Excuse me. We're going to have people on the ground actually driving the technical talks, the nuclear talks. How do you destroy this highly enriched uranium? All that stuff that you really just have to get into the nitty gritty on. So, I plan to go to Switzerland. Exactly when, we think these technical negotiations are going to start sometime this weekend. That's still the plan, but that could change because it's not an easy country, Iran, to get out of. And so we're trying to figure out exactly when that's going to happen. I suspect this weekend, but I'm not sure.
You're not going tomorrow to Switzerland.
I may. It just depends on exactly when the Iranians can get there. We're trying to figure that out as we speak. But again, I suspect it will happen this weekend. We're going to find out exactly when over the coming days. Go ahead, man.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Vice President. Just 2 questions for you. To follow up on an earlier question, Secretary Rubio said in March that the goal of this war was to, quote, to eliminate the threat of Iran's short-range ballistic missiles. You just said earlier that the military program is destroyed. U.S. intelligence estimates that Iran still retains roughly 70% of its pre-war ballistic and cruise missile stockpile. So when did the administration decide to abandon that part of the original mission? And then just second as well, moving forward, are you leading the U.S. team moving forward in terms of the negotiations? How involved will you be?
Yeah, so I'm certainly planning to lead the U.S. negotiating team. But on the first question, you talked about an intelligence report that was anonymously leaked to a reporter that was not with context.
Laugh out loud.
Oh my goodness, Terrence B, what up, dude? Thank you so much for the gifts. everybody, if you guys want to be like Terrence B35 and have your name showing up on the screen, just send a variety of gifts.
Laugh out
Just send
loud.
You could send small gifts too. You could send sparkles, stars, 100s. Send whatever you want, man. The more gifts we have, the better. So if you guys want to be like Terrence B35 and have your name show up on the center
Laugh
of the
out
screen,
loud.
send a gift. It could be a small gift, a big gift. We accept all gifts. So if you guys want to be like Terrence B35, who just sent me sparkles, do it. Send gifts, you guys. The more gifts, the better. Even the tiniest of gifts go a long way and help the channel out in more ways than one. So, and it also
Laugh out
interrupts the
loud.
stream. Happy poop, yum, yum. Look at that. Happy poop. He just sent a happy poop. There we go. By the way, you guys can send me happy poops. Oh, hold on. Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah. Okay, I'm back. That was frustrating. Oh, hold on. There's one person I got to send this to. What the hell? All right. Let's do this. Let's listen to JD, man. I'm excited, dude. JD's the man, dude. JD's so hot. Hot, 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 hot.
And that, frankly, is not accurate. What has changed about the Iranian ballistics missile program is it matters much less the number of missiles they have, the number of bullets. What matters much more is the number of launchers they have, and importantly, the teams on the ground that have the capacity to launch those missiles. Their ability to launch missiles has been substantially degraded. Is it zero? No, but it's substantially degraded, and in that sense, we haven't abandoned the mission. We've accomplished that particular part of the mission. If you look at the Gulf Arab allies, and obviously the Israelis who faced a lot, the two of them together faced a brunt of these missile attacks, each of them feels substantially safer today from the Iranian missile threat than they did before. Obviously, that is something that we would like to continue. All the president said yesterday is that you can't expect any country to give up its right of self-defense. You have to have parity, and that's what the president of the United States was talking about. Go ahead.
Yeah, look, is Iran going to fully give up their ability to defend themselves? Obviously not. But as long as Iran has no ability to enrich uranium by any stretch of the imagination, they can't, they shouldn't, well, they could. But here's the thing, we shouldn't allow it. And we kind of have to be the arbiters. Let's go, dude.
No, guys. Yeah.
Pope Leo's reaction to the MOU, the Memorandum of Understanding.
I have it. What did he say?
All right, okay. I'll give you the
The
short
MOU
version. Sir.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. He said.
Go ahead. After you.
I'll give you the short version. All right. He says he welcomes the agreement between the U.S. and Iran. He says it hopes it will help strengthen mutual trust, security, and stability in the Middle East. And he also hopes that it's truly a solution to the war and that the war is really over. What do you say to the Pope, sir?
My response to that is praise Jesus. I'm glad that the Pope has positive things to say about our MOU. I think that the Pope is fundamentally accurate.
Oh, I'm glad the Pope has something good to say about it. That's nice, you know. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what the Pope thinks about it, but it's a start. It's a start. For sure. But yeah, I think everything's on the right track. I really do. Some people think it isn't. Some people think it is. It's a matter of perspective at that point. But no, I really do think the peace deal was necessary. I'm glad the peace deal was underway, and I'm glad it actually happened. It needed to happen, for sure. Coyote 3 says, Garza, you should play some licking ice boots sometime. They're the best. Coyote 3, I might do that at some point. I don't know. No promises.
And it's going to be good for the entire world, but we got to keep working at it to make sure that the Iranians honor the commitments that they've made. And then yes, you in front. Go ahead. With the thing is, there's so many people in here. I could say the red tie, and then 9 of you start shouting at us. The burgundy tie.
The MOU calls for a U.S.
There we go, that guy.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you. The MOU calls for a U.S. troop withdrawal from the Gulf region tied to the final deal. Can you say whether the drawdown will affect U.S. forces past Iraq and Syria, where American troops currently help protect Kurdish-held areas from Iranian-backed militias?
Okay, so the drawdown contemplated, again, this is the final deal. This is assuming that the Iranians comply, that they give us verification, that they take real substantial conduct towards this peace agreement. What we're saying is that we will withdraw troops to the pre-conflict level, meaning we're not going to keep a couple of extra aircraft carrier groups over there. The Iranians don't want that. Frankly, we don't want that either. Go ahead. Yeah.
Is not going to be funding that $300 billion fund. Who exactly is funding that? Is that private companies? And I also noticed that your voice is hoarse. Are you sick? Have you been using your voice a lot?
Well, I've been on a bit of a book tour the past couple of days.
My man has been pumping his book. That's true. Look, he's been pumping the book, but he's also been defending, the good name of Donald Trump. It's just like, dude, what this deal means a lot to the U.S. It also means a lot to the Middle East. This really restricts Iran in so many ways, which is good. And honestly, a defanged Iran is a good Iran. Not only does this agreement constrain them in a lot of ways, they're also just naturally constrained because their entire military has been cooked. So, all right, that's just pretty much it, man. I think you guys know I'm right.
But I can't promote my book here in the White House press briefing room. I had a cold about a week ago. That and talking a lot about this deal and talking a lot about the book, I'm definitely a little bit hoarse. But you asked, your first question was about...
Who exactly is funding that $300 billion?
Oh, I see. So what's interesting about this is there is a great desire from the Arab world and from outside the Arab world to actually...
Annie says, I just hope Iran doesn't screw this up. I don't know, Annie. I think, I hate to say this. I hate to break it to you, Annie, but I think Iran's going to find a way to screw this up. I really do. I think Iran's going to find a way to really fuck this up. I hope they don't. I really hope that they just stop being stupid. As much as I want to see Iran just stop being dumb. The big question is, will that happen? Will Iran actually stop being crazy? Who knows? Who the heck knows, man?
Actually get involved in Iran if they behave properly. So, for example, let's say the United Arab Emirates, who've been a great ally over the last, not just few months, but over the last many years, let's say that they would like to invest in building a power plant. That actually is impossible right now because of the way that U.S. sanctions work. And so what we're saying is that if you behave, and if the Emiratis themselves want to build a power plant, then we will do the sanctions relief necessary to make that possible. The good thing about that is that it actually creates integration, which is leverage. A world where the Gulf Coast Coalition has greater leverage into the Iranian economy is a world where the Iranians are going to be heavily prevented from misbehaving. So it's a lot of the Gulf Coast Coalition. Again, they see that Iran is weakened. They see there's an opportunity to...
I'll let you whip me if I misbehave, 'cause then no one makes me feel this way. Stick it to the chorus. Come on, girl. Go ahead and be down with it.
Build a new relationship there. And they're saying if they behave, and if the United States is willing to allow this to happen, then absolutely we want to change our relationship with Iran. No, well, I mean, I assume that in the United Arab Emirates there would be private money and so forth that would be part of this. But again, this is so far in advance because it assumes a transformation in Iranian behavior. Sure.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vice President. As you know, the Iranian-backed groups in the region were involved in this war, and they damaged U.S. facilities and your allies as well. How does this agreement affect Iran-backed groups across the region, especially the Iranian-backed groups in Iraq? And my second question, this agreement requires Iran to stop attacking the Kurdish opposition in Kurdistan region, which they did 2 days ago.
So what this agreement does fundamentally is it requires Iran to behave like a normal country.
Yes, and that's something that I've been wanting to see is Iran, and it's so crazy. I've never seen a country like Iran get away with so much. Any other country, think about it. If Iran was any other country, they would not be getting away with half of the stuff they get away with. I don't even know why Iran gets away with anything. You know what I mean? Iran gets away with so much. It's actually disgusting how much Iran gets away with. And yet so many of these countries are so afraid to challenge Iran, they turn the other cheek and they're like, oh, it's okay, Iran, you could bully us. But you know what? I'm glad Donald Trump did what he did to basically demolish the entire Iranian military. The Iranian military is unethical. They're bullies. They kill their own citizens. The Iranian military is disgusting because of what they did to their own citizens. Just for protesting the existing regime is all those citizens did. You're expecting me to feel bad for the Iranian government? I don't. The Iranian government got exactly what they deserved. Got exactly what they deserve. You know it. You know it.
And if it doesn't, as so many people think that it never will, then it doesn't get any of the economic benefits. And if they do, then that's a great thing for everybody. It's a great thing for the Kurds. It's a great thing for anybody who has been under the brunt or under the threat of Iranian-funded terrorist organizations. The expectation is that Iran will stop that, and if they don't get the benefits of the bargain. John.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Many of the colleagues that you served with in the U.S. Senate and Republican Conference have criticized this deal over the last 24 hours. What is your message, Mr. Vice President, back to them?
So I guess I would say to anybody, any of the critics, is number one, have a little bit of faith in the President of the United States. The idea that...
Yeah, I think Trump's on the right track. I know there's going to be a lot of fools out there who are like, oh, you're siding with Trump. What's wrong with you? You're so terrible, blah, blah, blah. Dude, I will absolutely be on the side of Trump on this one because he's on the right side of history. Trump is on the right side of history, brothers. You know it. Everybody knows that. And I think he has every American's best interest at heart. I really do. He has America's best interest at heart. I firmly believe this man. You know, he may talk like a sailor, but he ain't no Michael Saylor. All right? Donald Trump may talk like a sailor, but he's not Michael Saylor. Okay? That's important to realize.
That he is going to strike a deal that's been bad for the American people, it's preposterous. He is the person who has had the courage to fundamentally transform our relationship with Iran and with a lot of other countries over the last year and a half. He believes in this deal. He is going to see it to completion. And if the Iranians...
He's the GOAT, dude. He's the greatest president of all time. I don't know what you guys want me to say. Seriously. Like, I don't know what you guys are trying to get me to say. Nah, dude. I think I'm as sane as it can come, dude. I like Trump. There's nothing wrong with liking he's our president, and I like him. So, you know, Joe Biden was one of the worst presidents we ever had, but I still wanted America to be successful, even though we had one of the worst presidents of all time. Was I nervous? Sure. I think most people were aware that Joe Biden was not a good president. You know, but we ended up getting a good outcome ultimately for the world. So I'm happy about that. But no, I love what Trump's doing, dude. I'm sorry. I love what Trump's doing, man. You guys may not, but I do. Hey, look. By the way, if you guys can, please send me a gift. Send me a virtual gift on YouTube. It could be a small gift, a large gift, but please send a gift. It really helps in a lot of ways. All you have to do is hit the little gift button in the lower right-hand corner to send the gift. Pick whatever gift you want, and it funds the show. I mean, I guess you could say it funds the show. I'm not really too sure if that's technically true or not, but it keeps the stream going. It keeps the show going. It keeps the show rolling. So whatever you guys feel like sending, man, we appreciate it. Rockstar.
don't comply, we still have every single tool and point of leverage that we have today. That'd be message number one, is have a little faith in the president's ability, given that he's got us this far, to take us the final step. The second thing that I would say is so many of what I've read or heard that people believe about this deal is just fundamentally untrue. It is a memorandum of understanding. It is fundamentally a principle that, yes, the Straits of Hormuz are going to be open immediately, and they already are. Yes, they're going to give up their highly enriched material, but they've got to actually do it. It's about conduct. It's about rewarding good conduct and punishing bad conduct, which in some ways is what we've been doing for the last 3 months vis-a-vis that country anyway. So many of the criticisms, I saw Lindsey Graham came out with a positive statement after expressing some concerns. I think that when people get to understand not just the agreement, but our negotiating posture as a country, they will realize.
They'll understand that this is a good agreement. They've been working long and hard on making sure that this agreement constricts Iran but gives us all the benefit. That's the whole point of the agreement. It restricts Iran's capabilities. It forces us to keep a closer watch on their nuclear programs. That's a big deal. So I don't know. I think it's a great deal. I think it's a fabulous deal. And to those of you who disagree with me, that's okay. Have at it. Feel free to disagree.
This is an.
But yeah, also, don't forget to tap the gift button in the lower right-hand corner. Send a gift. The more gifts we get, the better. It keeps the show flowing. It keeps the show going. So also your name will show up on the center of the screen if you send a gift. So don't forget to hit the gift button. Tap the gift button in the lower right-hand corner. Once you tap it, pick a gift of your choice. And your name shows up right there on the center of the screen. Whether you send a small gift or a big gift, you get recognized. And I will give you the recognition you deserve because you're awesome. So send a gift.
Excellent thing for the American people, but that's part of our job. We've got to tell the story about what this means for Americans, how it's going to make all of us safer and more prosperous. That's why I'm here talking to everybody, and we're going to keep on telling that story in the days and weeks to come. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Jordan Conradson with the Gateway Pundit. I want to talk back to the Lebanon component of the deal.
Whoa. This is the greatest show on planet Earth, dude. This is the greatest. My show is the greatest show on YouTube. All right? My show is the greatest show on YouTube. What are you saying? My show is the greatest show on YouTube. Mr. Beast wishes he was me. Allegedly.
There's a report in Axios that Netanyahu's fuming over this. Israel doesn't feel bound to the MOU as it relates to Lebanon. If, as you mentioned, your frustration with Israel striking in Beirut, hitting apartment buildings, if that continues, could it torpedo the deal? And what would the U.S.'s response be to a broader war in Lebanon involving Israel and Hezbollah?
Yeah, well, I don't want to get into hypotheticals that could torpedo the deal, because I think the president's expectation is that all of our friends, the Israelis, the Arabs in the region, we're going to work together and actually see this deal to completion. Now, I saw the Axios report.
He had me at the word completion.
That Netanyahu is fuming. That's not reflective of the conversations that I've had with him.
Coyote 3 says Garza's a legend. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
But maybe he's saying something to somebody else that he's not saying.
I try so hard, dude.
To me. What I will say, and this does bother me, is that you've seen people within Bibi's cabinet who have come out and attacked the deal, and in some ways very personally attacked the President of the United States. And I guess my message to them would be twofold. Number one, Donald J. Trump is the only head of state in the entire world who is sympathetic to the nation of Israel at this moment in time. And he happens to be the head of state of the world's superpower. If I was in the cabinet of the Israeli government, I might not be attacking the only powerful ally that I have anywhere left in the entire world.
Yeah, because a lot of countries have basically abandoned Israel except for the U.S., it feels like. So Israel better change its tone. Israel's pissing me off, dude.
And the second message I would give to some of those cabinet members, Bibi, to his credit, has not gone.
Coyote 3 says about 40 to 50% of China's seaborne oil imports pass through the Strait of Hormuz. China owns us. That's funny. Or do you mean China owes us? China owes us. I don't know.
Gone down this path. But to some of these cabinet members in Israel who are attacking the President of the United States, the other thing that I would say is that over the last 3 months, 2/3.
I would also like to say, don't forget to tap the gift button in the low. Just tap the gift button below. The moment you tap the gift button, you could send any sort of gifts, sparkles, happy poop yum yums. Basically, I act like an e-girl whenever I get gifts. I say things like happy poop yum yum. I say all these cringy things. So if you can, tap the gift button, send a gift. It does help the channel grow in more ways than one. Yeah, China owes. Yeah, it's all right. No, Coyote 3. I was just making sure I was just making sure I was reading what you were saying correctly, because who knows? You could have said owns. But no, I appreciate it, man. Spelling errors happen, bro. It happens all the time. It's all right. Happens to me all the time. I am a shitty speller, but also autocorrect is a hell of a drug.
Of the defensive weapons that have protected your homeland have been built by American hands and paid for by American tax dollars. The problem for Israel is not Donald J. Trump. And anybody in Israel who thinks their biggest problem is the President of the United States needs to wake up and smell the reality of the situation that country is in. Thank you all.
What have you learned about going to war against Iran?
Trump dog knows what he's doing, bro. Vance knows what he's doing. Trump knows what he's doing. They all know what they're doing. Zaddy. Trump is Bay. Trump is Bay. Yes. That's what you guys keep telling me. Oh shit, Asman reacted to JD. Let's take a listen.
Anyway, JD Vance directly calling out the Israeli cabinet members for their personal attacks on Trump. Okay, let's see this.
By the way, what do you guys think of JD's speech or address to the White House press briefing room? That was pretty good, man. I think first off, I just want to say he addressed a lot of good points that I think a lot of people were concerned about. Look, he's basically telling us that Iran doesn't really get much out of the deal. The only thing they really get is they don't get any more bombs to their military facilities. So basically the U.S. will essentially just stop bombing them as long as they hold up their end of the agreement. No pursuit of a nuclear weapon. That's a big deal. But who knows? Iran has a funny way of screwing things up, so we shall see what sort of shenanigans Iran tries to pull. Because I'm not going to lie, I've got a feeling that Iran's going to try to pull some really, really stupid crap. That's just a feeling that I have. Because we all know Iran does a lot of dumb crap.
What I will say, and this does bother me, is that you have seen people within Bibi's cabinet who have come out and attacked the deal, and in some ways very personally attacked the President of the United States. And I guess my message to them would be...
We butter your fucking bread. We keep you alive. We give you money. We defend you. We share intelligence with you. If it wasn't for us, Iran would be bombing you fucking constantly. Shut your fucking mouth, and whenever we say jump, you say how high. That's what I think you should say, JD. But let's hear the political.
We got to hear the PC version, Asman. I'm sorry. We got to hear the PC version. I know. I wouldn't mind seeing JD say the Asman version of this. Let's continue.
Version of this.
Number one, Donald J. Trump is the only head of state in the entire world who is sympathetic to the nation of Israel at this moment in time. And he happens to be the head of state of the world superpower. If I was in the cabinet of the Israeli government, I might not be attacking the only powerful ally that I have anywhere left in the entire world.
Yeah.
And the second message I would give is that over the last 3 months, 2/3 of the defensive weapons that have protected your homeland have been built by American hands and paid for by American tax dollars.
So he's saying the political way of saying exactly what I was saying, which means that probably behind closed doors, they're probably saying the exact things that I'm saying. We own you. You should be saying.
Yeah. Yeah, except for, JD put it in a very polite and PC way of saying it.
Thank you.
The problem for Israel is not Donald J. Trump. And anybody in Israel who thinks their biggest problem is the president of the United States needs to wake up and smell the reality of the situation that country is in. I've seen some progressive criticisms of me personally saying, what experience does the vice president of the United States have with hostile, high-stakes negotiations? And I would point those progressive critics to the fact that just 2 days ago, I spent over an hour on The View. So...
That's pretty funny, though. That is pretty good.
All American history in this administration. You guys might be skeptical of this, but I promise you it's true.
I have to go to break. Anna, God, please.
Oh, God. I actually have great experience.
God, Whoopi is such a, it sucks. She's so loud and annoying these days. It's terrible. Here we go. Let's go.
Experience in very hostile negotiations, and I've used that. I mean, look, Joy Behar is way tougher than the Iranians, and she.
You know what's crazy is I'm not sure if he's lying. I mean, you have on one side a seasoned religious extremist cleric psychopath, but on the other hand, you have a white liberal woman in America. I don't know who's going to come out ahead there. Israel is your only ally, and the thing is that didn't Mark Levin come out and talk about nuclear bombs?
But Israel has some very, very powerful weapons that it has not used. I don't know this firsthand. Just go online and read about it. It's a secret that's not so secretive. And they've had them for decades. Israel will survive, period.
That's great. Yeah. If Israel nukes...
Yeah, I think here's the thing. If Israel does anything stupid, Israel's cooked. If Israel does anything stupid, Israel's screwed, dude. You kidding me?
Tehran. You know what? That would really...
You know I'm right.
Make everything better. That's going to make everybody like you. That's going to make everybody on your side. Absolutely.
Aww, sweet dog.
Nick Fuentes called me a warlock?
Dude, no way. Fuentes gave Asmund a shout out? Hell yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, probably an affliction warlock, right?
We all actually know Asmongold is terrible optics, right?
I like him. He's one of the biggest streamers around. He's our warlock. You ever see Live Free and Die Hard with Justin Long and Bruce Willis? The hacker takes control over the city. And so how do they...
That's actually a really good movie, by the way. That's actually a really good movie. If you guys have never watched Live Free and Die Hard, dude, that is actually one... That was actually one of the coolest fucking movies of all time.
They fight the hacker. Well, it's not like the old Die Hard movies where you run into the skyscraper with the gun. They have to go to the warlock. And he's like this shut-in. He's like living in a cavern, and he's like a gamer. So Asmongold is like the warlock. I'm like Bruce Willis. Realistically, I'm like Justin Long.
I like being the...
That is like one of the funniest analogies I've ever heard in when it comes to Asmund, and oh my god, that is funny. That is really
Warlock too. I don't like being directly involved. I like being off by myself in my own little corner, and every once in a while, whenever things become very bad, you can break the glass and activate the demons. But until then, I get to sit here dormant, relaxing, chilling, playing video games. Everything's fine. Nick Fuentes called me a warlock.
That was pretty good, dude. That was pretty funny. That was freaking hilarious, bro. Holy crap. Well. Hold on. Give me 1 second, you guys. Give me a moment, please. Take your wow. Well, I can't believe it, man. The deal's pretty much done, dude. Freaking wild, bro. Let's take a look here. One moment. Oh, this looks cool.
LibreOffice. Microsoft Office costs around $100 a year.
I love free software so much. Like, LibreOffice is an amazing piece of software. I am kind of curious to see what this list holds. So they say, LibreOffice, Photoshop. What is that? Oh, they're probably promoting GIMP.
It acts like accessing your own files is a privilege, not a basic human right. And Office isn't even the expensive part anymore. Photoshop, Premiere Pro, cloud storage.
Oh, yeah. It's basically saying, like, yeah, and it's so funny because if you want great software, man, look no further than open source. You don't have to pay an arm and a leg to get these licenses for. Sure, and some of these products actually have some extra advantages. But 9 times, dude, TLG, Tiny Line Gaming says, Blarza, what's up? What up, TLG, dude? I'm looking through, I'm watching this video real quick on every free app you actually need in 20 minutes. So it's kind of comparing, like, for instance, LibreOffice is a great replacement for Microsoft Office. Instead of Photoshop, you could technically have GIMP. Instead of Adobe Illustrator, you could have Inkscape. Yeah, no, there's a lot of open source solutions out there that you don't have to actually have those products. You can have something else that does pretty much the same things that those pieces of software do.
Productivity apps. A lot of people are quietly spending over $1,000 every year on software subscriptions without realizing it. At this
Yeah, pretty much everything I use. The only piece of software that I have, and I won't even say it's software because it's pretty much, it's a subscription service, is ChatGPT. ChatGPT is literally the only, first off, it helps me make software too, which is crazy. Hey, by the way, I have a request for everybody. actually send an email to Garza Brands at gmail.com if you are interested in being a closed tester for my up and coming app. So if you guys are interested, hey, Tiny Lion Gaming, if you're interested in becoming I don't know if you have Android or not, to anybody who has an Android phone, must have an Android phone to test the app. It is all through Google Play, essentially. But yeah, if anybody's interested, man, so send me an email to Garza Brands. Oh, Tiny Lion Gaming has an iPhone. Okay, that's okay. But to anybody who doesn't have, to anybody who has an Android phone. Oh yeah, no, I know TLG. That's why I asked you, dude. I think that I know that you of all people would definitely want to. But hey, it's okay. It's okay. Maybe eventually though. Maybe eventually I'll be developing for Apple. But for now I'm just developing on the Android platform, and then maybe eventually, like I said, maybe eventually I'll make some iPhone apps. But I definitely want to focus on creating Android apps stuff. It's a really cool app, man. It's called TrueDraw. It uses basically it uses on-device entropy to create random numbers, which is really cool. So it's about as close to true random as you're going to get without having to go external outside of the phone. Really cool. Coyote3 says, I got Android. So the app is called TrueDraw. The app is called TrueDraw, and it cannot be published without doing closed tests for 14 days. If you are interested in being a part of the closed test groups, please email me at garzabrands@gmail.com, and I will happily add you to the list. There we go. So yeah, if you want to be a part of it, and basically what I would do is I'd be sending you an email, but Google Play would be sending you the email invite. I would be plugging your guys' emails into it. I don't know when the emails are going to be sent out. I still have to fill out a few things for the app itself to be fully out there. But it's really important to me, and if anybody has an Android device that they want to use to help beta test this, or I shouldn't say, because by the way, the app is fully functional. So essentially the only reason they're doing this is because I'm not a business, I'm an individual entity. And because I'm an individual entity, they require at least 12 or more successful closed testers to make sure the app is ready for the Play Store. But yeah, feel free to, if you guys are interested in becoming a part of the closed testing group, just send me an email. Okay, fine, my bad, I'll say it. I'm a fat effing chud. I'm a fat effing chud. Is that enough for you? Is that enough? I don't mind being called a chud. I think it's hilarious. I got chud behavior sometimes. I'm a chud. Why are you a chode? If I were a chode. But yeah, you guys send me an email. If you guys are interested, please send me an email. I will gladly add you to the email list. I actually have an email list going on. Or plop your email in there. I don't care. But yeah, send me an email ASAP, you guys, and I will find a way to get you guys on here. Hold on. Coyote 3 email me. Cool. Oh yeah, True Draw. Thanks, bro. Added your email to the spreadsheet. You get first tests on all new apps. But yeah, if you guys are interested, man, anybody who's interested, please send me an email. Once again, it's my boy Coyote just sent me an email. I'm going to add his email address to my spreadsheet because I'm trying to. So my goal is to try to get at least. I think realistically, I'm only going to be able to get 50 people, but maybe I could get 100. So anybody who is sincerely interested, I can add you to. Hold on. Let's see. All right. Okay. Okay, so I got my boy, let's see. So my boy Coyote's on here. Do we get any more emails? Yeah, so I think the email is going to come out. I think I'm going to send the email out probably maybe a week from now. Probably a week or less. So it should be from Google Play. Oh, very cool. Oh, hold on. My keyboard kind of fricked out on me. Give me 1 second, you guys. My keyboard's kind of effing out on me. Oh, here we go. All right, so we got my dad as a beta tester. Just got to add his email to my spreadsheet here. Yeah, really, like I said, the goal is I'm just trying to compile a list of emails that I could dump into my closed tester thing. I just need to get enough closed testers, essentially, for this to work. Coyote 3 says, the more y'all cry, the more it's evident that it wasn't a failure. Oh, hey, Annie. You know what? I don't know if Annie's still in the chat, but Annie, do you have an Android or an iPhone? I was going to say, Annie, if you're interested, you could be part of the beta test, too, for the new apps that we're coming out with. Anybody who's interested, man, just let me know. Send me an email. I will gladly add your email to my list of emails. And if you guys have an Android phone, that is, I will add your email address to my list of emails so that way I can send you guys an email or I could have Google Play send the email through the closed testing. Because like I said, closed testing is absolutely required. Oh, snap. Okay. Sweet deal. Annie, did you want to be part of the beta testing too for any of the new apps? Because basically when I am developing a new application for Android, I'm trying to get as many beta testers as possible. So ET and Annie, I don't know if you guys would be interested in being a part of my beta testing. By the way, I just want to let you guys know you're not under any obligation. If you guys want to send me an email, if you're interested, send me an email if you are interested. But there we go. Garza, once again, my email for this is garzabrands@gmail.com. So like I said, just send me an email. I'm not data hard. Well, I don't. Oh, okay. Yeah, no rush, Annie. But yeah, anybody who's interested in this, like I said, I want to get as many people on board as possible because, like I said, Google requires closed testing for any sort of individual app that's created. And I know that you guys know that I've been wanting to develop an Android app like crazy. And I've been wanting to put out really fun apps that people can use for free. And yeah, so I think that's kind of the goal at this point. One app that I'm definitely interested in creating is a dividend safety score calculator. That is something that I have been very, very interested in creating, is a dividend safety score calculator. So I don't know, that may be coming down the pipeline. A dividend safety score calculator may be coming down the pipeline, and I really want to get people on board with that. So. But yeah, let me check my email real quick. We'll see if I got any additional people wanting to volunteer. I better check my spam too, because sometimes people might go to spam or something. But yeah, thank you guys for being so involved in the process. No, I really appreciate you guys. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else I could probably email. Let me check. I'm going to go to Facebook and see if I can try to encourage some people on Facebook to join my righteous cause of people just wanting to beta test my. Because the thing is, if I can get a good email list of people who are willing to test any apps that come out that I send out, I'm happy about that, dude. I would love to be able to get beta testers. It'd be fun, man. And by the way, it doesn't cost anything. It's like it's totally free. It's like it's completely free. So if you guys want to be part of it, go ahead. I'm going to message my brother real quick on Facebook Messenger. I'm beta testing. Actually, I could also go on my Discord as well. Maybe some people on Discord will want to pitch in. Closed. Okay, let's see. Well, let's see. But I do want to thank you guys. I really do. Seriously, you guys are making this a good thing. I need as many people as possible for this. If you guys want to be beta testers on my app, I'm pretty stoked. Essentially, anybody who wants to be a beta tester on this is awesome. Let's see, so we got Gmail, let's go on Facebook. I think I have Nathan's email on here. I'm just trying to basically add any prospects for anybody who would be willing to do the beta testing. I could look at my contact list. Let's see. Do I got a contact list? Let's see here. All right, you guys. Well, I think I am a little bit tired at the moment. I gotta go get some groceries over at grocery outlet. So let's see. Give me 1 second. All right, you guys. I'll tell you what. Oh, you sent an email? Okay, let me take a look here. Oh, thank you, Annie. I see the email. Thank you so much. I'll add you to the list of participants. It may be another week. It may be a week before any invite is sent out. I really appreciate it, though. Really appreciate I really appreciate you. Yeah, thank you, Annie. I appreciate it big time. So we're going to take Annie's email, add her to the list. Email list. All right, so we got 4 emails so far. This is great. Let's see. Actually, what about Facebook? Let's go on Facebook. Hey, Banani, I really appreciate it big time. ET, are you interested? Close testing of my new app. ET, if you're interested, man, send me an email, bro. And also, if you think there's anybody who would be interested in testing the app, please, you know, if there is anyone who may be interested in the testing, please have them email me. I should also probably go on Discord or something like that. But Annie, thank you very much. I appreciate that email. I'll tell you what, you guys, I'll probably do I'll probably end up doing a stream later tonight. I got to play I'm going to be playing some cards with my buddy Nathan. And then after, I have to go grocery shopping here in a second. But let me see here. All right, let's go. But hey, I appreciate you guys. Oh, ET's got an iPhone. I may eventually put, here's the thing. Just depending on the success that I have with the developing Android applications and things. I mean, I got my first app already created. It's just a matter of going through the closed testing phase, so that way Google will allow it to exist. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. But hey, Annie, from the bottom of my heart, I really do thank you guys. If anybody's interested, I'll try to put out another community post to try to encourage you guys to see how many people are on board with this, and it'll be fun. It'll be fun. Anyway, I'll catch you guys a little bit later. Just have an incredible day.